Hi, Bill Doherty, co-founder of the Doherty Relationship Institute. I'm here to sing the praises of guilt. Ta-da! So historically in therapy, we've wanted to avoid bringing guilt into the room. The notion was that guilt was, back in the Freudian era, it was really a shame about one's basic impulses and so on. And we're good at helping people understand the context of, say, why they had an affair, so that they can move on from it. But in so doing, I think we've neglected why nature prepared us to have guilt. And that is, guilt is a way to reflect on how we've hurt other people. That's how I see it, okay? And we can do that. We do that. And so if therapists are apt to want to rescue people from their guilt because we confuse guilt, which is, self-recrimination and admission of having done something wrong that harmed somebody, guilt with self-loathing shame. In other words, the difference between I realize I've hurt somebody and I feel very badly about that and I want to do something to make amends, versus I'm a horrible human being that I would have done that. Nobody should ever love me. So I'm talking about guilt and healthy guilt. Healthy guilt related to something I've actually done. And so there, in the Doherty approach, we have ways to help you hold somebody with their guilt, not try to take it away prematurely. So here's an example. So somebody has cheated on their spouse, they kept lots of secrets, and they may have put their spouse at risk for STDs, all the stuff that can come. They almost blew up their marriage. And they have ended the affair, they want to repair, you're seeing them as a couple. And what some therapists do is rush quickly to looking at a systemic reason why the person did it. The marriage wasn't good and the sex wasn't good and they had grown apart and they're kind of, both responsible for it, which is then in some ways neither is. Or somebody's past history, their trauma history, their attachment history, all of which led them to this point. And I mean, those are factors, but we try to rescue somebody. So I sometimes will ask, how do you feel about having that affair? I feel terrible about it. Tell me more. This isn't the person I saw myself as. These are not my values. This is not how I was raised. I know I hurt my wife. I put my family at risk. I feel terrible about it. So it's something you really, now I'm the therapist, something you really are doing some serious soul searching about it. So I'm not saying, but you're a good person, or given the fact that I'm thinking about a particular case, given the fact that your father cheated on his wife, so you have that role model. I mean, that's all fine for developing meaning. We want to help people develop meaning around why they did what they did, but it's okay, it's healthy for people to face some guilt and self-reproach, the inconsistency between who they believe they deeply are and what they've done, and that they've hurt other people. It's really okay. It's healthy. But we as therapists, given our training, see, my training was guilt was like the third rail on the subway, and those of you who didn't grow up around subways, if you stepped on that, you were electrocuted, okay? And so the assumption was clients came in with excessive guilt, and our job was to help them with self-acceptance. Yeah, okay, you can have some people like that. Somebody, 6 years after their affair is still beating themselves up for it. Well, we have another situation then. So in summary, I'm saying, guilt for hurting other people, for not living up to the values that we espouse, is in the human condition for a reason. We can help people in couples therapy accept their guilt and their responsibility, make amends to their spouse, but also to themselves, and not try to intervene prematurely so that they don't feel a feeling. Let's face it, that we're uncomfortable with them feeling if we think that our allowing space for that is inconsistent with good therapy. I'm saying it's part of good therapy.